Okay, I just wanted to start out by thanking everyone for joining the webinar today. This is actually our first ever Fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA, webinar specifically for Handmade at Amazon. Today we're going to talk about FBA, what is it, and how it can help your business grow. So please save your questions for the end. We'll do our best to get them all answered. And for those of you that are watching the recorded version of this, please go ahead and see their resources that are associated with this. Before we get started, I do want to address a common question regarding customized products. We don't currently have the ability to leverage FBA for personalized products. However, if you have slight variations such as color, size, we recommend sending in some of your top selling variations. For example, if you create a colored gemstone necklace, send in a few variations of your top selling stones and your top selling chain links, for example. For those of you that actually create one-of-a-kind products or highly personalized products, FBA may not be the right choice for you at this time. However, we are always working to improve your experience, so don't rule us out for good. So let's get started by going over the agenda for today's webinar. What we'll be covering. First, we're going to start with a high-level overview of the benefits of using FBA and what it can do for your business. Next, we'll cover FBA pricing because I know that's typically one of the top questions our artisans have. Next, we'll actually walk through setting up a product in FBA from beginning to end. And once we're done walking through getting a product into FBA, we'll do our best to answer some of your questions at the end via the chat box. So let's get started. Why FBA? So Fulfillment by Amazon is a unique opportunity that none of our competitors offer, and one that allows our artisans to keep the integrity of their handcrafted goods, but also provide that fast, free shipping and world-class customer service that Amazon offers. With FBA, your products are typically eligible for Prime 2-day shipping. For many of our artisans, this means more time doing what they love, creating, designing, and making their products, than letting Amazon take care of the rest. Here are just a few stats that really show how big the opportunity is with Prime. Number one being the ability to reach more customers with your products. Last year, we had tens of millions of members join Prime worldwide. Number two will be a common theme you'll hear throughout the webinar, but one that truly drives value for our customers, and that's free, fast shipping. Number three is being able to keep up with the holiday rush without having to fulfill each order one at a time. Many artisans have told us that with FBA, they can build up their inventory throughout the year, and then when the holiday season comes, they're able to just watch their sales come in, and they don't have to worry about, fulfilling those orders one at a time. As I'm sure many of you can relate, Amazon Prime has made last-minute shopping and procrastination a much more acceptable habit. So the value and importance of having Prime products around the holiday season really, really does become a factor. So here are a few more stats on FBA, but I'd like to call out specifically one. In a recent survey we conducted, 77% of the respondents said they saw an increase in sales after getting their product to the FBA. The other I'd like to mention is actually not on this slide, is some of the recent feedback we received from one of our artisans that I spoke to personally. Just a few weeks ago, my colleague was talking with one of our artisans casually and gave them a genuine recommendation to try FBA. She thought it would be good for their business and it made sense for the products they were selling. About 8 weeks later, we got an email thanking us and that they've seen a 400% increase in sales. Now, we can't guarantee that FBA will work for everyone, but in general, we've seen some pretty amazing things happen for some of our artisans that do. Okay, so you've probably heard me talk enough about the benefits of Prime, but let's dive into how it actually works, what it costs, and then how to actually set up a product. So how FBA works. First, you're going to package up individually each one of your items into a box with a proper labeling, which we'll get into later in this presentation when we actually walk through setting up a product. Then you're going to send it into our fulfillment center. Our fulfillment center is going to receive it and store your inventory. Once a customer makes a purchase online, then Amazon will pick, pack, and ship your products. At that point, Amazon customer service takes over. So if there's any customer returns, Amazon will be there to take care of the customer service. I do want to call out here, when it comes to returns, for those of you that have individual or unique packaging, you do run the risk of having a customer return your product, because when a customer returns your product, it goes back to our fulfillment center, and if it's not repackaged properly, there is a good chance that Amazon will repackage your inventory in its standard packaging. Right now, we currently don't offer any service or ability for customers to return your products directly to you. They do have to come back to our fulfillment center. We do know this is a pain point for some of our customers, so we are working to improve this experience, but currently this is its current state. So let's talk about fees. In general, there are 3 fees associated with FBA. The first is a flat fee per item. Keep in mind, these fees do change throughout the year. And then second is an inventory storage fee, which is charged monthly. This tends to be actually very minimal. It's based off of size and weight. For products that haven't been sold after 6 months, you'll be charged an additional fee assessed every 6 months for unsold inventory. And then the third fee is it's an optional fee associated with removing inventory from the warehouse. So if you'd like to have your product shipped back to you, or Amazon does offer a disposal service. So if for any reason you have damaged or inventory you no longer want, you can pay a fee for Amazon to dispose of your products. The next is a tool that we've actually created for you to estimate the actual cost for you per item if you were to use FBA versus actually fulfilling the item yourself. So this tool is called the FBA Revenue Calculator. You can find it anytime on Seller Central, as well in the resource links that accompany this web.
So in the left-hand column, you'll see this is where you input your fulfillment costs. So the item price as it currently is, your shipping costs that you pay for shipping it to customers, and then it'll auto-populate the selling on Amazon fees for your products. And then once you've input that, you can actually input the cost of products, so the cost it actually costs you per product, and then it'll show you down there in the green, you'll see your net profit in your margins. So, and then the column just right of that, you can put in your information for what it would cost to fulfill by Amazon. So you'd input what your item price is. It'll automatically calculate that, the same selling on Amazon fees, and then it'll show you the fulfillment by Amazon fee right there. So when you're using this calculator, you'll actually you'll copy your ASIN number. So if you have your ASIN listed, or your product listed, you'd copy your ASIN and you'd actually paste it right into the beginning of this FBA calculator. There's a place to paste in your ASIN, and that's where it'll pull this number for fulfilled by Amazon fees based off of the size and weight of your product listed. Once you input your information, you can click calculate, and this will give you the numbers for calculating what it looks like for fulfilling by yourself. You'll notice that in the light blue column, and then the darker blue column is using fulfillment by Amazon. So this is a really great tool for figuring out what it's really going to cost per product, and if it makes sense for you. Okay, now we're going to switch over to a live demo of actually listing a product. So as you should be able to see on my screen, this is the homepage of Seller Central once you've logged in. To list a product in FBA, you're going to go into Manage Inventory like you normally would. And keep in mind this is a test account, so we're going to be listing a test product. Let's scroll down here just a little bit. So this is the test product that we're going to use. So once you've opened up Manage Inventory, you're literally going to select the product that you want to send in. And again, I mentioned earlier, we recommend sending in your top seller. You don't have to send in your entire inventory, but we definitely recommend when you're getting started, so use your top selling items as you'll probably be able to see the most success with those. So once you've selected your item, you'll go up here and you will select Change to Fulfilled by Amazon. So once you've done that, it'll take just a second, but it'll take you to the next screen where you get started. Okay, so this is where you would actually be converting your inventory into FBA. So convert and send inventory. Okay, so on this screen, you'll see when you first set this up, the ship from address will be empty. You'll want to enter this information. For some of you folks, you'll be shipping from your home address. For some of you that have a business location, make sure that you have the correct ship from address selected. And so here are the two options. Probably the most important thing on this page is choosing whether to do individual products or case pack products. So what is this? Here is a perfect illustration, if you can see on my screen, the difference between the two. So if you select individual items, each box will contain one or more items of varying quantities and conditions. So basically you can send in multiple ASINs within one box. Case-packed items, if you select case-packed products, then all of the items in that box will need to be one ASIN. So the majority will probably be doing individual products. So for this example, we'll go ahead and use individual products. Once you get to this screen, this is where you're going to enter the number of units that you want to send into FBA. So for this example, we're going to be sending in 10 units into FBA. So once you've put in 10 units, click Continue. Okay, so you'll see these little notifications pop up, but basically it's asking you if you need any prepping materials, packing, or shipping supplies. But in general, you would just click Continue, and this is where we come to the labeling of each individual item. So this is always a common question for some of our sellers that are first getting started, is really understanding how this process works. So for this specific example, you'll notice you have the print labels for this page. This is where you'll actually, because you've selected 10 products that you're going to be shipping in, this is where you'll print the labels. So once you've clicked print labels for this page, you'll see that it creates 10 individual barcodes that will go on each of your individual products. These are created to print out on the Avery 5160 printout labels that you can use with your printer. They're adhesive stickers that you can place on each one of your individual products. Keep in mind, you'll be putting one of these labels on each one of your products, and then on the next page is where we'll be putting those into one box, and you'll be shipping them to the Amazon fulfillment centers. Sometimes it's going to be one fulfillment center. Other times it'll have you shipping to multiple fulfillment centers based off of what is the most efficient way to get your products kind of spread around the country. So for those of you that are wondering, those labels, those are completely free. Those barcodes are what Amazon requires. So once your product arrives at the fulfillment center, they are recognized and scannable. That is a completely free service. When you're placing those stickers by yourself on your products, that is a free service, and those labels are created free. You do not have to have a UPC or SKU, but you do have to have an Amazon label, and so that's where you'll be printing those out. On this next page, this is where it is showing you to send to different fulfillment centers. So you'll notice right here in the first shipment, you're sending 4 units to Charlesley, Pennsylvania. So we'll work on this shipment. So you're looking at these. It's got you sending 3 to Lebanon, Tennessee, and 3 to Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. So that means you're going to be taking those 10 items and putting 4 of them within a box, and then the other three and 3 into boxes, and shipping them each to different locations, because these are the most efficient fulfillment centers that Amazon has selected. So for the first one, the 4 units going to Charlesley, Pennsylvania, we will work on that shipment. It shows right here in the ship to, you'll be shipping to this fulfillment center address. Remember, you have 1 ASIN and you'll have 4 units going into this box. You are able to use your own carrier if you'd like to. If you have negotiated shipping rates or you'd prefer to do it that way, you are more than welcome to use your own carrier. In general, UPS tends to be the cheaper carrier. Right here in this kind of left area, you'll see small parcel delivery, and then you'll also see less than truckload. So small parcel delivery, I imagine, is going to be 99.9% of you, as that is any type of shipping service, whether it's FedEx, UPS, or any carrier like that. Less than truckload is typically, we're talking about pallets of product. So most of you will probably select small parcel, so it defaults to small parcel. So here I'm going to go ahead and select UPS. And if you want to ship, like I said before, if you want to select your own carrier, you just click Other Carrier and select your carrier from the drop-down menu. But for now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use UPS. How will this shipment be packed? So you're going to put everything in one box. So remember, you're sending 4 units in one box to a fulfillment center. So once you've selected that, the page is loading. So here's where you'd place the large box containing your 4 units. This is where you'd put in your box weight. So we're just going to give an example of we'll say 6 pounds, and then we will do 10 by 10 by 10. This is just as an example. So once you put that in, you can calculate your shipping costs to this one fulfillment center. And it says $16.61. So $16.61 is the cost that it's going to be for us to ship this box into our fulfillment center. Keep in mind, this is a testing count, and this is probably kind of high for this size box. So I'm going to click Agree to Terms and Conditions. When clicking Accept Charges, once you've done this, you have 24 hours to cancel these charges. Otherwise, this will be billed to your account whether you ship your products or not, because you're entering into an agreement that you will be shipping your products with, in this scenario, UPS. So you'll see right here, you have 23 hours left to avoid shipping charges. You'll want to make sure that once you get to this point, typically, that you're ready to ship out your products, just so you don't forget and you don't end up getting those charges, because you will be charged for those shipping costs. Okay, so here's the next step and the kind of the last final step, and this is print box labels. So since you just selected UPS as your carrier, you will get another PDF, and this is your printing label that you'll stick on the larger box that your current 4 products will be in. You'll notice 2 labels on this printing label that need to be on the box. This FBA label, this is how the fulfillment center recognizes your packages and knows where to scan them in. And then this larger one is for the carrier, UPS ground. So once you've done that, you would click Complete Shipment, and it will show you the tracking number so you can track your shipment into the warehouse. And then in this scenario, you'd go to work on shipment, and you would complete the other 2 shipments to the other 2 fulfillment centers. So that is how you send in your products to FBA. So in this scenario, like I mentioned, you can go to Shipping Queue after you've completed your shipments into the fulfillment center. And you'll see right here, so this is the order that of those 4 units that I just completed. ready to ship is listed under the status. So this will change. Once it's arrived in the warehouse, once it's available for customers, the status will change. And then from at this point on, once it arrives into FBA, you will manage it in FBA inventory, and that's how you'll then therefore manage your inventory. In the meantime, this is a popular question. So if you want to continue selling your products while you're waiting for them to be available for purchase in the warehouse, in the fulfillment center, you'll want to go back to your manage inventory while you're waiting for your products to arrive and become available in FBA. For those of you that want to continue selling that product, if it's one of your popular items, you'd go back to manage inventory. You would select your product, and you'll see under this column now, it now says fulfilled by Amazon. So while you're waiting for that product to show up in FBA, if you want to continue selling, you'll change back to fulfilled by merchant. So this will allow you to continue your products to still be available and continue selling your products until they're available within FBA. And once they arrive in the warehouse, you will get a notification. Now we're going to go ahead and address some of the frequently asked questions. So as I mentioned earlier, the shipping labels for each one of your individual products, we recommend using the Avery 5160 printing labels. You can get those on Amazon. So each one of those individual products will be packaged. We highly recommend that you review our shipping policy before shipping your products into FBA so you don't run into any issues. We want to make sure that you don't have a negative experience shipping your products in because you weren't aware of some of our policy. So please be sure to read our product packaging policies before shipping in your products. Another question that I addressed at the beginning of the presentation that I want to touch back on is customizable products. If you have customizable products, our recommendation is, because we do not currently support any advanced customizations, what we do recommend is if you have a few color options or simple customizations, we recommend sending in some of your top sellers and top variations. Other than that, we do not currently carry the ability to make customizable one-of-a-kind products, or, for example, names engraved on a necklace is something that we can't do. We can, however, recommend if you did, create those engraved names on necklaces, if there were a few names that were your top sellers, I'd recommend trying that out. Another big question that we have that tends to come up quite a bit is around packaging your inventory and who is responsible at which point. So for example, if your product is shipped to a customer, product arrives broken, as soon as it arrives to the FBA warehouse and is shipped to the customer, once it arrives to the FBA warehouse, it is then Amazon's responsibility. But we do want to recommend and make sure that you have followed our packaging guidelines and that your product is prepared to be handled in a warehouse on carrier service vehicles. So making sure that your products are packaged correctly is very important. If a customer decides that they don't want a package, or that they change their mind on the product and they send it back into the warehouse, but the packaging is not how you originally set it up, unfortunately, because of the way that our fulfillment centers handle packages, if you have unique and special packaging, returns aren't always going to be placed back in the original packaging. They're based on how the customer sends it back. Oftentimes Amazon will place it in a poly bag or other packaging, and it will go back into your inventory. We do not currently send products. We don't have the customers send the products back to you. They do have to send them back to our fulfillment center. Provided they are not damaged, they will show back up in your inventory. To get those removed from your inventory, you would need to request that Amazon sends back your inventory, at which case your inventory is sent back for, I believe, around 50 cents an item. I hope this webinar has been helpful. Thanks for joining us today. And please check out the resource documents accompanied with this webinar. Thank you.